Now, the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Toyota Ghana Limited, Koji Yanaka, has called on the government to fulfill its part of the implementation of the Ghana Automotive Development Policy, including the ban on imported cars aged 10 years or older. Koji Yanaka said this will help players in the automotive industry reap the full benefits of the investment.
Where we stand as of today, there are many things that are pending. And our only desire is that the government to fulfill and complete the auto policy as soon as possible, since we have, we brands, the main players, or we have invested millions of dollars already for the local assembly. And we, under the belief that this local assembly will help develop the local industry. So that is our only wish. First of all, the control, the regulation, implementation of the regulation on the used cars, especially the ban of over 10 years. Also, the homologation system, which is supposed to ban the gray import as well, is not in implementation. Finally, all the completely built units, which are supposed to be imported to Ghana, the import duty should have been raised to 35%. Which has not occurred yet. So those three are the main points that are pending as of today.
Used vehicles contribute greatly to transport emissions, undermining public health and the environment. In the US, Europe, and parts of Asia, clunker programs, which means exchanging odor and polluting vehicles for cash. This method are becoming popular to reduce these social environmental harms. But not all vehicles are exchanged and recycled, and many are exported to Africa and other low-income regions for reuse. This practice undermines the global goal of moving towards safe and low-emission transport. In response, the UN Environmental Programme has called on countries dependent on used vehicles to adopt strong regulations, including bans and age cap on imports. Many African countries have responded, including the Economic Community of West African States, which have adopted strict rules against used vehicles importations. Between 2015 and 2018, 40% of the 14 million used vehicles exported by the European Union, Japan, and the United States went to African countries. Our review of Ghana's situation suggests that import restrictions alone are unlikely to yield meaningful public health and environmental gains. In fact, they might make things worse because Ghana's policymakers have tried several strategies to improve public health and the environment. In 1998, for instance, they banned the importation of vehicles older than 10 years, but later they replaced the ban with high penalties on imports. But these policies didn't lead to public health or environmental improvements. Road traffic and vehicle pollution level remains the same or even worsen in some cases. The measures also didn't lead to more purchases of cleaner or new vehicles. Instead, people continue using old, polluting, and unsafe vehicles. Some even tend to black market, meaning the import restrictions didn't address the root causes. Ghana's spatial planning and lands use systems that force people to travel more. So, road construction has been given priority over public transport, leading to more spread out land use. Minibuses or trotros are privately run and poorly regulated. Operators focus on short-term benefits and lack capital for improvements like fleet renewals or electrifications. Government investment in bus rapid transit projects often falls short, leaving gaps that encourage the use of second-hand minibuses in the country. Income levels are low and auto loans are accessible to only a few. These limitations demand for expensive new vehicles. According to some economic experts, bans and penalties just set the regulatory bar higher. They don't address the needs for old vehicles or offer ways to afford newer, safer, less polluting options. These conditions push demands and supply to the black market, where importers manipulate details to evade bans and penalties. So, to reduce the used vehicle consumption and its harms, Ghana needs to address demands. This may include better spatial planning, safer and more efficient public transport, and financial support for new low-emission vehicles. Investing in electric vehicle infrastructure and supporting local electrification initiatives can also help a lot. Ghana's future EV market could benefit from lessons learned in countries like Norway and China, where government incentives and infrastructure developments have boosted EV adoption. By addressing the root causes and creating a supportive environment for cleaner transport options, Ghana can make meaningful progress towards reducing transport emissions and improving public health. It is time for a comprehensive approach to transport policy in Ghana, one that looks beyond bans and penalties to create lasting positive change. And that is all for today's episode. Please let us know your thoughts and suggestions on this in the comment section below. My name is Sheriff Haruna. Have a joyful life and see you in our next video. Macrao.